Welcome to the Knockback, your seat. Mark's got the feedback, quick on his feet. Got your hard knock lessons in the mix. Brace yourself, his burns are slick.
Look, I know change can be scary. 1 minute, you're playing freeze tag out there at recess. Next thing you know, you're getting zits, your voice gets low, and every time your art teacher, Miss Scanlon, leans over your desk, you feel all squiggly inside. She was a striking woman. Not classically beautiful, but striking.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the Hard Knock University podcast. This is the Knockback, where we take your feedback and spit it back at you. And as any musician knows, feedback can sometimes be a bad thing. So Todd,
Controlled feedback is awesome.
Yeah. So Todd's going to help me out with this one. So we have some stuff from X. The first one, pushed through stage fright for years. Each shaky performance taught me more than any rehearsal. Embracing the nerves made me a better artist. Fear is just fuel if you use it right. That's from @Music Mindset.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, you got some thoughts?
Yeah, I suffered with stage fright for years and years and years. And as a young man, and then eventually got into theater, and in high school I was theater kids and got away from the stage fright. But then 15, 20 years down the road, trying to be a performer, roaring to that, and kidding up in a coffee house, over caffeinated, all shaky, and trying to, learn something about performance really is what got me over the hump. And then, by myself in front of 1,200 people, for one of my first paid gigs ever was, man, what a trial by fire. Yeah, absolutely. You learn so much more being on stage than you do in a rehearsal space. Rehearsal is for polish, but stage is where you learn to craft. 100%.
Yeah. So the inspiration there is work the grind. Keep putting in the hours.
It's the 10,000 hours. You got to do the things. I had a bass player once that he said we got to play the song 12 times before we put it on stage.
Absolutely. @PM Vibe says, botched my first big project by micromanaging. Team burned out, deadline slip, hard lesson, trust your people, guide, don't control. Now I lead because I failed first. Yeah, man, micromanagement is the productivity suck.
Yeah.
You got to give your team room to make mistakes. They're going to mess up, but that's where the magic happens. That's an opportunity to learn.
Oh, totally agree. And what a hard lesson to be a project manager. In the rear view, go, oh, I was that guy.
Yeah. But that's how we learn. We make mistakes.
Yep.
@Indie Toonsmith, tried to please every critic with my album, lost my sound, tanked the release, learned to trust my gut over the noise. Sometimes you got to crash to find your voice.
We talked about this a little while ago. I play for me. If I say something funny, it's because I found it funny. If you laugh, that's a bonus. If you enjoy a song that I crafted, that's a bonus. I make these things for me. It's not about my ego. It's about this is something that's growing in me that I have to get into the ether. I take it from the ether and put it out in the world, in the real world. And, there's lots of, the idea with songwriting is just get out of the way. Just get out of your own way and let the song happen. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. And don't force it. And don't listen to other, if it's your vision, it's your vision. Don't put on that hat and go, well, I'm going to do this. And, there's a reason I don't do Bon Jovi covers in my set.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm writing music, I let the song write itself, What is it trying to tell me? What's the lesson here? And my responsibility is just to make it rhyme. @PM Lessons, I ignored a scope creep warning early on. Project spiraled, client bailed, painful but clear, set boundaries up front or pay later. Every scar's a strategy now. Yeah, that's my whole thing. Learn the hard way and don't make the same mistakes over and over and over again. With the scope creep, you're right. It's about setting boundaries up front. The first time that the scope starts to get a little out of hand, it's time to have a meeting and discuss it.
Albums are like that. Making an album is like that. When the vision starts to just get a little out of the loop, and you got a producer or an engineer who's just not on the same page with you, and you're so in the moment that you just go with it. Next thing you know, you got a piece of garbage that you're trying to, you got a turd you got to polish, and it's like, no.
And it's on you for not setting that boundary when it first started happening.
Absolutely. Yeah. Did you not listen to your takes? You just go, okay, cool. No, you gotta stop, reboot sometimes.
@Sonic Perspective, skipped warm-ups, blew my voice mid-tour, Silence for weeks taught me discipline over ego. Respecting the craft hurts less than learning it the hard way.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough lesson to learn. I'm pretty bad about warm-ups, but I also don't tour consistently, so it's not a big deal. You know, obviously I could feel it this week, but that's just as much Central Texas pollen as 3 gigs.
But yeah, practice makes perfect. And not only that, but perfect practice makes perfect.
Perfect practice makes pretty good.
Yeah, but those warm-ups and everything, they're there for a reason, you know?
It's a big deal, especially if you're a belter. You know? If you have a spoken word style, it's a little different. But if you belt them out, yeah, you gotta work that muscle.
And maybe you can crank one out when you're young crank a bunch out while you're young without warming up, but you're not gonna be able to do that forever. Everybody gets old. So,
Hydrate, warm up,
yeah.
rest.
Well, Todd, thanks for joining us on the Knockback.
You bet.
Everybody be sure to follow Coming Up Muddy everywhere where music's available, and of course, Instagram, Facebook.
Look of faces and Threads.
Yeah, Threads. We're all doing Threads now. Join us all there.
I'm not on the dumpster fire of X, but I am on Threads, Facebook, and Instagram.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
First time I ever saw tan lines. Hey, one last thing. And I want everyone's eyes on me when I say this. Look at me.